Well, here we are again down at the lake. What we're going to do today is something I've already started to do. Let me show you what that is. If you look out here at the lake, you can clearly see where I've sprayed Roundup. Not really Roundup, not the name brand, but it's got the same ingredient as Roundup, glyphosate, but it doesn't have the other one, the dioxin or whatever it is. So it doesn't kill fast, but it kills just as dead usually. But as you can see, some of this stuff is starting to pop back up a little bit. So apparently I didn't get enough on it to kill it all the way. And I couldn't reach clear over to the far side to get the other side. Now, this stuff is an invasive species here in Arkansas. And I can't remember what it's called. If you know what it is, please put it in the description. I found it once about a year ago, and that's when I found out. But anyway, this stuff is an invasive species. It doesn't make a pretty little flower of any kind. It just grows leaves and covers the top of the pond and makes it so you can't drag a fish hook through it. And it also blocks other beneficial things from growing. So what I'm trying to do is get rid of most of it. I know I'm never going to be able to get rid of all of it at this point, unless I'm extremely diligent about coming down every week and spraying every green leaf there is left. But this is our best shot at knocking the majority of it out in one shot. And that is that this is the first week of August. And as soon as the water cools off, this stuff goes down for the winter and comes up in the spring. So the hope is if we can kill most of it off now, even if it does start coming back in little spots like this, it's going to take all of its extra energy to sprout up these new sprouts just in time to be killed for the winter by the cold. And we're hoping that that'll be enough, that it'll starve it out for next year. And we'll have a nice clear pond to start out with next year because we got fish in there. You've seen the fishing video. If you haven't, go look at the fishing video. It's not that long ago. Because we put in fish a little over a year ago, little bitty baby fish, and we wanted to see how big they got, and we did that. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take the yellow canoe over there. I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, but we're going to go out in the yellow canoe. I got some more Roundup mixed up, and we're going to spray all the stuff over on the far side and give it a first shot, and then we're going to give this here a second shot to get it knocked out. And hopefully we'll have most of it taken care of. And it might start coming back, like I said, but we're hoping then when it freezes out for the winter, it will use all of its energy up and it won't have anything left to come up in the spring, or at least it'll come up very sparingly and I can go out and spot treat it and get rid of it completely. That's the hope. So let's get in the boat and go do some spraying. Okay, Randy's getting the canoe ready to go in. Hopefully we don't run into any poisonous water snakes while we're doing this, but we can get that boat in the water. I'm going to go over here and get the spray, get it ready to go. I got it all mixed up yesterday. I have not pumped it up yet because this pump likes to lose pressure somewhere. I've tried sealing it everywhere I can. It only holds pressure for a little while. And this time, instead of having to push it around with a stick, I went and got Randy a paddle. He's just so happy about peed his pants. So here we go. We'll see you when we get out on the water. Okay. We're out here trying to get the layer of, trying not to get on top of it because then we get it all wet and the stuff won't work. But trying to get a layer of Roundup on top of this stuff as much as possible from out in the boat. We need to get a little closer over there. If we can get over closer to that edge without touching it, that'd be great. Let me pump this up a little bit. There we are. We're getting almost all the way back to that tree line over there. Not sure what these clumps of moss or whatever it is with grass growing on them are, but Hopefully this will get rid of them too. And now we're over closer to this far end down here. Try to get some of this sprayed and knocked out. I tested this on a little bit of the pond earlier this year and it worked pretty good. And I tested it on a bigger section of the pond and it worked pretty good. I'm hoping that now I can get it on this last little bit here. I can get rid of most of this stuff. There's my navigator. Randy the row man. I got some more back here to get. Note to self, it gets hot in the boat when you're out there in the sun. Even on a cooler day. It's only about 82, 84 out here with a breeze blowing, but it's still hot, still summertime. As you can see, the lake's got the sun shining on it over there. Haven't got a whole lot of trees shading it from this direction, just a few pines that I left. When I first bought this property, I don't know if you guys have went far enough back to see the video, but we spent like several days clearing all the brush out from in front of this pond. You couldn't even see it. You couldn't tell it was here. So I'm trying to get this pond up to snuff so that it looks nice and it can hold some decent fish. And this is part of it. If you're going to have decent fish, you want to be able to throw a hook in and catch them. Well, you saw in the video a week or two ago when we were fishing, you couldn't get a hook through it. Everything got tangled up in this garbage. So we're taking care of that. Oh, by the way, hi Mom, Carol, this is Steve. Show her that one, Chrissy. It's me. But that's the pond down there. It's a little over half an acre. I'd say about 2/3 of an acre if you accurately measure it. And I know it's over 6 feet deep in the middle. I'm guessing probably 10 to 12. Got those weird blobs of stuff living in there that grass grows on. I'm not sure what that is, but we're trying to clean it up. So in a few days, when some of this stuff starts dying after it's already soaked in the Roundup, then we don't have to worry about washing it off. We can start throwing stuff in there and dragging it out to drag some of the dead stuff out. That's our next plan of attack. And we got something for that too. It's right here in the back. Let me show it to you. I'm going to have to get out. I found this. I don't know how well you can see it. I found this in a scrap heap down here. Old one. I think we're going to have to weld it together to make it strong enough. But I think if we put a rope on this, throw it out there and drag it in a couple of 100 times, we'll get that garbage up out of the lake, at least some of it. At least try to get one clear aisle out to the lake. Here comes Randy. He was over there playing with the saw, trimming over along the far side of the lake a little bit. But I've looked into doing that. I started doing it one time. That's going to be probably more than a one-day job, trimming up the far side of the lake. I don't know if you can see over there where the branches are hanging down into the water. I want to trim all that up. Just haven't gotten that far yet. Had other priorities. That's more of a cool weather project as far as I'm concerned. It's too hot for that much work, because you can't just cut it off and throw it in the woods. You're going to need to drag it out of there and burn it. Otherwise, it's going to clog them woods up and create a fire hazard. All them dry branches in there with the cedar on them. But one thing at a time. This is going to be a nice lake in another year or so. Like I said, who knows? We might go crazy and build a dock on it. What do you think of that, Randy? Can't see your face.
Floating dock would be nice.
Now here I was thinking of a solid dock.
Floating dock. That way you pull it in and out.
Well, the lake does go up and down. That's for sure. Not a whole lot though. We haven't had rain for several weeks. You can see things behind me is getting kind of dry. We're on the edge of a burn ban, and well, that's the underground water level, I'm guessing, because that's where the lake sets. We had a bad drought a couple of years ago, and I think it only got like 6 inches lower than this, so it stays pretty full. It's a good little lake, or pond. Sorry, not big enough to be a lake. Not exactly sure the difference between a pond and a lake, like the difference between a boat and a ship, but somewhere somebody's got a rule that makes a difference, whatever that might be. But in the meantime, we've sprayed the pond. We'll update you on how it's going. As you can see, though, here in the foreground, the stuff does kill it, but it likes to try to come back. So we resprayed the stuff that's already been killed and is trying to come back, and we sprayed a lot of the stuff around the edge, all the way around, as far as I could spray up to about the tree line. And considering this is, what is today, the 5th of August? 4th of August. So yeah, and this other stuff took like a month and a half or so to start coming back. So, 4th of August, 4th of September, end of September, it'll be starting to come back. It'll be using up the last little bit of its energy coming back towards the end of September, and it dies down in October and goes away for the winter. So this might be the death knell for this stuff. Matter of fact, I think in about a week, once this stuff's already starting to die and we don't have to worry about washing, today we couldn't drive over the stuff after we sprayed it for obvious reasons. It would wash off the poison. But a week from now, once that stuff's already soaked it up and started to die, we could go up in there further and spray all the way around the edges and do a real thorough job and really knock this stuff back. And that's what I would like to do if we can, and get this taken care of. So keep an eye on the channel, and we'll have updates for you. I might just throw a short on there every here and there. I might make a full-size video. Next year, if this works, there will be a full-size video. If next year this doesn't come up as a mess of weeds, I'll make a video about that for sure. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. We're going to keep on making content. We're really close to 1,000 subscribers, which is where we start making $1 or $2. And that money's going to get reinvested right into the channel with better video equipment. So then we'll have a couple of GoPros. We can get better angles, dual angles, all kinds of fun stuff. Well, you can hear that rooster all the way down here. He's a big mouth, isn't he? Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time on Spring Holler Farm.